Hello my friends and welcome, my name is Dennis and this is the latest update from Ukraine. Awesome news for Ukrainian army, we continue our counterattack on the northeast part of the front lines and little by little we are taking full control over the Kharkiv region and we are into Lugansk region as well. So you may compare to what it was yesterday. I just go to the timeline. So it was yesterday and it is today. So we took some of the ground from this position. So it was yesterday and today. A quite significant attack was here and our forces moved further than this secondary road, obviously, but all of the roads are important nowadays because the autumn weather could be tricky and could be rainy. Now it's rainy and the roads are only the sources for the connections of the supply lines, etc. So soon we're gonna free all of this part. As you can see, we have this area still controlled by the Russian forces. They're controlling this river. Our forces were not able to cross it over here, but we did it over here, and that is why we are pushing them from the south. The most important city in this area is Troitsky because it has the railroad passing through the city, and I hope that we're gonna get closer to it. And let me check if we can target that city from, let's say, Kupiansk. Yes, obviously we may use HIMARS rocket artillery system, just 54 kilometers to reach Troitsky. Near to Svatovo direction there is no any movement. However, on the south we pushed this gray area. I hope it will turn blue very soon, and little by little we are getting closer to that road that leads to Svatovo, and I think that we're gonna attack this city from two of the directions, from the north and from the south. Yes, nowadays counterattack is a little bit slow, but the main thing is to keep this trend in taking our ground back. As you can see, we took this green area a long time ago, but just recently took this blue one. Let's move to Bakhmut. Situation there is without changes. Our forces for now are unable to push Russians away. At least we got this information from this deep state map.live resource, and Russians have tremendous losses there. For the recent 1.5 months, they lost of 8,000 soldiers in Bakhmut direction. However, I may admit that this information is not official. I got it from the secondary resources, so I wouldn't state that it's 100% correct. The Ukrainian defense lines are very strong in Bakhmut, but Russia continued to throw their soldiers for nothing and they have lots of losses. But even if they would take Bakhmut, that would not solve the main problem. They will never go to Kramatorsk, Slavyansk. They already far away from those cities. Then they lost Izum. It's understandable that they will not unable to reach Slavyansk and Kramatorsk any longer. So what are those soldiers dying for? I don't really understand. The south part of Ukraine, Kherson region, my friends, no recent changes over there, and there are many of the scenarios how situation may develop there. From our intelligence services, we have like a promise or the forecast that we're gonna free Kherson till the end of this year. That is what I was talking to you since August, but my attention was a little bit deflected by some of the media resources saying that Russians are running away from Kherson and Ukrainian forces will take it in 1 or 2 weeks. So I was really inspired by that event. However, still they have their forces in this region, and I do expect that till the end of this year we're gonna free Kherson. And now let's go to the latest news and events. And right now we have a breaking news. Russian oil depot was under attack in Donetsk area and they lost lots of fuel that was used for the Russian tanks. The oil storage was in Shakhtarsk city of Donetsk region. We got the information that Russia is recruiting Afghan special forces that were trained by Americans and British allies. Then Taliban took over Afghanistan. They obviously lay off all of the Afghan special forces that were allied to United States And those soldiers were left with nothing, and Russia now promises them salary, and they want to gather around 20 up to 30,000 Afghan soldiers to fight for the Russian army. I think that Russia may hire around 1,000 Afghan soldiers, but then those start to lose their lives in Ukraine. The rest of the soldiers would lose their will to fight, because finally they didn't have the will to fight for their own country, Afghanistan. Russia went on nuclear drills today, so they're in some kind of submarine here. They were firing some of the rockets. Well, it's done mostly for the video. Putin was in a bunker as usual, and there was no any nuclear blast. Now there are internationally applied restrictions for the nuclear tests. The only country that doesn't follow it is the North Korea, and still Russia stays away from the real nuclear tests. And that means that they're still afraid to show their mighty power. And today Putin continued to talk about the dirty bomb narrative. Actually, Russia officially published that Ukraine is now fully ready to use the dirty bomb in Chernobyl area. It's kind of funny, they're totally nuts. I mean, the Russian propaganda and the Russian government. This is the USS George H.W. Bush air carrier that is located somewhere in Europe, and the crew of this air carrier say that they are ready to fight against Russia if needed. I think that statement was done because of the Russian nuclear threats on Ukraine or any kind of other country. Great move from Poland. The Senate of that country recognized Russian regime as a terrorist one. Israeli president went to United States with official visit, and he provided the evidence that Russia used Iranian-made drones, and they are identical. So Geran 2 is actually Shahid 136. They're not identical, they are the same. All of the components of those drones were made in Iran. Today, those soldiers came back from the Russian prison. One more exchange, and it's a great thing, my friends. We have awesome military help to Ukraine from all around the world, but some countries help more relative to their military budget. And Latvia is a record country for Ukraine because they spend 41% of their military budget to help us. The next step is Estonia. Obviously, they help much less compared to United States of America if we speak about the units or the price of the weaponry, but relative to the country budget, my friends, they help a lot. You see that United States help with 3.6% of their military budget, but it's a lot. And totally we received the weaponry for 41.3 billion euros. Awesome. Thank you, my friends, for supporting Ukraine. And here you can actually see the size of the help. Obviously, United States, #1, they provided us with weaponry for 27.65 billion euros. And Latvia helped with 300 million euros, but it's almost the half of their military budget. This is the NASAMS air defense system, and the producer of that systems, Raytheon Technologies, already passed 2 of the units to United States, so we should expect them to arrive in Ukraine very soon. Israel provides to Ukraine the aiming equipment for the guns to shut down Iranian or any kind of the drones. So we have the remote control, you have a rifle, and you may shoot some of the drones that are flying nearby. Also, you may put it on a drone and hunt other drones in the sky. And this is Antonovsky Bridge in Kherson. There are some of the holes in the bridge construction. It cannot be used by the Russian heavy tanks and even light vehicles. And they tried to build this improvised bridge using ferries, but still you can see the elevation is different, and they cannot leave Kherson with their tanks, so they just can walk across that bridge. What they use to cross that river is this ferry that is capable, I think, to carry tanks and light armored vehicles. Now you can see the civilian cars are on that ferry, so we cannot use our HIMARS artillery to hit that ferry. Otherwise, we may target our own citizens. So today, Russian Defense Ministry published some photos saying that Ukraine is ready to use the dirty bomb, but they published some of the photos taken from the Slovenian radioactive storage and dated from 2010. It's Russia. Jens Stoltenberg today said that Russia accuses Ukraine of their own wrongdoing. He said about the dirty bomb and nuclear threat coming from the Russian side. Today, the first rocket was shot down with the help of this application, YPPO. It means the mobile air defense. So what you need to do as Ukrainian citizen, if you see the cruise missile, you can just open the application, point your phone and press the button. If you see rocket, airplane or unmanned air vehicle, helicopter, and that information goes directly to Ukrainian air defense, and they know where our airplanes are flying, and they will decide whether to shoot that rocket, airplane or something. And the first rocket today was shot down with the help of that application. Awesome. This is the monument for the Russian Red Army, and some of the artists just draw the washing machine. It fits so well to that monument. Awesome idea. And here's one more photo with the Russian track, and you can see the window inside. So basically, it's what they do here. They take what they see. Pentagon reported that United States successfully tested the hypersonic rocket. Awesome. They need that weapon because Russia already has the Kinzhal hypersonic rocket and they use it in Ukraine. Around 3 weeks ago, we had a strike of that rocket very close to my place, and our air defense wasn't able even to recognize that rocket. Elon Musk finally bought the Twitter. You can see with a new sync him in the headquarters of the Twitter, and I was told that he was asked to buy that company. He wanted to refuse, but court said to him to continue the deal. That is what I was told, but I'm not sure if I'm correct with that information. And Blinken today said that they warned Putin directly for the circumstances if Russia would use nuclear weapons. Yet we don't know the details of the United States response, and I hope we never know. However, United States put more reinforcements to European region. And today our team went to the Russian-controlled territory to take the body of one of the American soldiers. His name was Joshua Johnson. He was 24 years old volunteer. He went to fight for the freedom for the Ukrainian side, and sadly, he lost his life during this conflict. Finally, after some of the negotiations, we got the body and it will be sent to United States. His body was hard to identify, but some of his unique tattoos helped with that. And my friends, I want to warn you, if you want to go and fight in Ukraine, it's your own choice, but if you don't have the military experience, it's better not to go here. I'm not sure whether Joshua got the military experience, but without it, my friends, your chances to survive in this conflict are quite low. We got the reports from the veterans who served in United States Army who are fighting for Ukraine here, and they say that Iraq was a Disneyland trip compared to what they see and experience here in Ukraine. My friends, please check out my Telegram channel because there I post more regularly and the most important information for the day. So the link is in the video description. And also, if you want to support this channel, you may just press the like. It helps me a lot. If you want to support me financially, there are some of the links again in a video description below. You may support me on Patreon, PayPal or Donatello, whichever is more convenient for you. My friends, I wish you a peaceful sky wherever you are. Have a great time.